Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Moreno. I'm a family nurse practitioner, and this is my super awesome co-host, Ray Martinez. Hi,
How's it
Ray.
going? Good. What's your day, Sharon?
Actually, it was super awesome, very productive, changing lives every day.
That's the key, being productive. It's like if you're not being productive, you're just being busy. You're just kind of wasting your life away.
That's right.
Right? So, what are we
Absolutely.
going to talk about today?
So we're
Or
going to talk about vitamin B12 deficiency today. That's our topic.
cool. So, guys, yeah, make your comments, ask us questions. Sharon will be more than happy to answer whatever question you have out there. Let's see here. Man, I'm checking to see if we're live. Yes, we are. Watch video. Boom. I see you. We're live on Sharon Moreno's profile page. We're live on the Gold Rush Health Solutions page, and we're live on Gold Rush Health Solution YouTube channel. So guys, check us out everywhere you can come in. And it's also being shared on my profile page, Ray Martinez.
Absolutely. So again, we always start with our legal disclaimer while everyone takes a glance at that. I'd like to invite everyone to look into perhaps what topics of interest there may be. I'd like to cater to the audience and provide medical information regarding the topics of choice. So if there's a particular topic that may spark your interest, I'd like to hear about that. If you could place that in the comments, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. So cool, man. With that said, uh, man, um, B12. What is B12?
So I prepared a super awesome PowerPoint to
There you
discuss
go.
B12. And
There
I
you
think
go.
we can start with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so there's a lot of questions about B12, a lot of misinformation and things of that nature. And we already have a question.
There you
Christina
go.
says, "Hello, gorgeous. I have a question."
Hey,
Speak it,
Christina.
thy question.
Hope you're feeling better. Type us your question, Christina. She's watching us on the YouTube channel, and we're glad you are watching and you subscribed, and that is very cool. So,
She says, "Can
oh,
B12 help me? Can B12 help me with COVID?" So B12 specifically is not indicated for COVID. There's been no link between B12 and COVID. But generally, I always ask the patient, what symptoms are you having? If you're having symptoms like fatigue, it may be able to boost you with energy and things of that nature. But COVID is a virus, and B12 is not going to assist you with any of those particular with the COVID virus. Rest, hydration,
mm-hmm.
and other treatments like Paxlovid and things of that nature, but not B12 specifically. But that's a great question.
Yeah, definitely. And I know when
She says,
you're feeling down in energy and you have COVID, like she's had, man, it's like you want to try anything, but I suggest that she get some sun and eat some oranges. I don't know. What do you think about that, Sharon? I
I
never got
agree.
COVID. I never got COVID, and that's all I
Oh,
did.
that's great. You weren't missing much. You weren't missing much. So I like vitamin C. I think that when we have these viral infections, we need to boost our immune system. That's really important. And we do that by rest. We do that by hydration. And again, vitamin C, you can get that citrus, like oranges, lemons,
Hmm.
and you can take a pill, but we always try to get that natural if we can.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she's referring to, but it can give me energy. She's talking about again the B12 that can give her energy. If you're having a lot of fatigue, yes, absolutely, the B12 can give you energy.
Great. And
And
I
this
put
is
this.
you telling us to ask questions. Let's do that. And she's saying, I was asking if it would give me a boost, and it absolutely can. It just if your energy levels are super low, yes, it can offer a boost.
Yeah. So cool deal. Uh, so Greg, I was well, B12, yeah, I'm thinking I need to get a shot too, Sharon. That's the because, well, not only that, I mean, we start having a poor diet. You definitely need, maybe we need to consider getting a B12. We start having, when you can't sleep, that kind of deal. Or if you can't go to the restroom, or so it definitely will help you on. I know it'll help me on boosting my energy, my mood, that kind of deal.
So
So
let's talk about, let's get into B12 a little more, to help with that guidance.
yeah.
So a few key factors here is that it's an important nutrient that helps keep nerve cells, blood cells, hair, nails, and skin healthy. It's found in animal products like meat, dairy, and eggs. So if we know where we can find it at, it's important. If we know where we can find it at, then it's more than likely we'll be able to help with that issue there. Our body does not produce vitamin B12, so we have to get it from
Mm,
external sources. Vitamin B12
wow.
is a water-soluble vitamin, meaning that your body removes the excess when you urinate. So again, this is something. This is not something that your vitamin just holds on and stores large quantities of. Whatever's not used is excreted from your body.
Mm,
So those are some key factors there. So patients who are like strict vegans have issues with B12, usually are low.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a couple of questions. What can cause B12 deficiency? What can cause low B12? So just the fact of being 60 and older, lack
Wow.
of meat, lack
Yeah.
of meat, dairy, or eggs in your diet. In other words, again, being a strict vegan. Gastritis. This is an inflammation of the stomach lining, and it affects the reduction of hydrochloric acid in your stomach, and that acid breaks down the vitamin B12 and helps with the absorption.
Wow.
Certain digestive diseases like Crohn's, celiac disease, again, which can prevent vitamin B12 absorption. Gastrointestinal surgeries like bariatric surgeries for weight loss, again, issues with
Mm.
absorption.
Yeah, yeah.
Alcohol intake. This can damage your digestive system, which again can cause vitamin B12 deficiency, and certain medications like metformin, Pepcid, Nexium, omeprazole, birth control, etc. So if we look at a lot of these deficiency issues, what's the common denominator here? We keep hearing absorption.
Mm.
So it may be not related to, okay, if I eat my meat, if I eat my dairy, if I eat my eggs, okay, I'm getting B12. But the issue may not be I'm getting the B12. The issue may be I'm having a difficult time with absorption. And so that's the issue with the B12 is that it's poorly absorbed when you take it, when you swallow a pill. And that's why most times it's replaced through injections. That's the best way, the most effective way to get replacement is through uh, injections through your muscle, because that area bypasses the gut. Whereas if we swallow a pill, then we're having to go through the stomach, which again, there's issues with absorption there. If we're having to
Mm.
go through the gut, the intestine, there's issues with absorption there. So again, the common denominator is absorption issues, which again, if we look at all the issues here, there was only one thing that said poor diet, but everything else was related to absorption.
Mm. And so let me ask you this: how often
Sure.
should we take B12?
So
Is it a daily
again,
thing or a weekly thing?
this particular class, if you will, has to do with low vitamin B12. But we're talking about just maintaining somebody who's already normal and not having any issues, then I would not recommend any supplementation. I would just recommend if they're not having any absorption issues and it's adequate in their diet, then I would recommend maintaining eating meat, dairy, or eggs, routinely in their diet, because clearly whatever they're doing is working for them. Their numbers are fine. But we're talking about people who are low. So either they're not having appropriate meat, dairy, or eggs in their diet, or they are, but they're having an absorption issue. Their body is not absorbing the vitamin B12 appropriately. And so in that particular instance, then we would be dosing for somebody who has low values.
Right,
Um,
right, right. So no, I see. Now, so let me say, for instance, my diet is I just eat chicken and fish. I never eat meat. I don't know, for a number of
so
years I haven't eaten meat. So I only eat chicken and fish. I eat vegetables and I eat fruit. I'll eat rice and beans. I have bacon and eggs and eat almonds and drink only water. Would I be a candidate for needing B12?
So what I would do is I would ask you about your symptoms, which we'd go over in a slide from now. And I would ask you, out of all these symptoms, how many symptoms are you having, and are they mild, moderate, or severe?
Okay, I see. I
And
see.
how are they affecting your quality of life? Let's say you feel tired. Is that mild, moderate, or severe? And if we were to make it better, how would that improve your quality of life? Because remember, uh, when we're making changes to people's regimens, it's about quality of life. That's really the end goal. If there's no improvement in quality of life, then there's probably not a reason to make changes to things.
I see. I see. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Certain medical. Okay, cool. Great
So the
stuff.
next So the next slide, we're going to talk about the vitamin B12 symptoms, and there's quite a bit. Again, it isn't, you don't have to have all of them. You can have some of them. You can have a few of them, but they include symptoms like feeling tired or feeling weak, nausea, vomiting, and or diarrhea, lack of appetite and or weight loss, sore mouth or tongue, hair loss and or thinning, numbness or tingling, vision problems,
Mm,
forgetfulness, and or feeling confused easily, having a difficult time walking or speaking like you used to, feeling depressed, irritable, or simply a change in the way you used to feel beforehand.
mm.
So these are some most common symptoms associated with low vitamin B12 levels. So I would ask you, Ray, can you tell me on this list how many of these symptoms you're having? Are they mild, moderate, or severe? And how is it affecting your quality of life?
Right now, probably none of them, but I know eventually I will get maybe some numbness. I might experience some low energy. Uh, I can't see the other one. So what's the other one? The other one was maybe my vision. I'm up
Sure.
for. I'm up. I've been trying to schedule with my appointment with my eye doctor, and I've been missing that, and my eyes are starting to hurt. So that might be a case of that. Plus, I also need a new prescription. You know, so that kind of deal. Hey, Lucas here.
Hi, Viola.
¿Qué tal?
How are you? Thank you for joining us.
So yeah, uh, cool. I would say mile. I would say maybe mile or maybe close to mile. I don't know. Depends.
So somebody with
Uh,
not as many symptoms and on the mild end, and would tell me, well, my quality of life, isn't that big of an issue, then it probably, I would tell them, well, if you're saying it's not a big of an issue and the quality of life, then do we really need to treat? Because remember, these are injections, and people aren't necessarily excited about injections. And so that's ultimately the issue. You have to decide as the patient, okay, am I willing to do injections for a specific amount of time? Or am I just simply am I okay the way I am? Only the patient can decide that. But usually
right.
for mild symptoms, I will tell them, you know what, try to increase the intake and see that resolves the issue.
Mm.
Hi, Norma.
Norma, how's it going? And thank you for joining us on the YouTube channel. That's so cool.
But but somebody for more moderate to severe symptoms, I definitely would recommend treatment. I have seen in a very severe instance, I had a patient who quit walking and had to relearn how to walk
Wow.
because she had vitamin B12 deficiency. So it can be devastating.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And in that
So,
case, these are the situations where we want to find we want we want to find these instances. And so with simple like screenings like this, how many are you having? How many of these symptoms are you having? Are they mild, moderate, or severe? Then we can look at those kind of things. But ultimately, if your body doesn't need it, then you'll urinate it out, and it's not necessarily going to be a big issue. I have never had a patient with vitamin B12 toxicity.
wow. That is cool. It's cool to know that because that's the reason we do the show so that we can learn the information that we're lacking or perhaps been misunderstood or perhaps uh, we have no knowledge of it. And so you're bringing it up to the community so that they can, especially as we get closer to that certain age, we're prepared. We're prepared. Too many times, people don't do anything about it, and all of a sudden they're in worse shape you know, than they are. It's like when you don't work on a car, and all of a sudden you take it into the shop, and now it's missing this, missing that, it's missing this, and missing that, and
Yes,
missing this, and it's more expensive. Maintenance is
absolutely.
very important. Maintenance is very important.
Absolutely. I like that word that you use, maintenance, because it's about being proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah.
I find that so many people feel sick, and that's when they see their provider. When the reality is, we really should be seeing our provider when we don't feel sick. Hey, I'm here. I feel great. I'd like my physical exam done. I'd like my annual labs done, because this is the time where we can find things early before you're having any symptoms and have better outcomes versus now I'm sick, now I'm dying. And, you know, it's better late than never. But ultimately, if we are feeling well and again being proactive versus reactive, then we'd have much better results. And again, that's always the goal.
Yeah, definitely. I
Maintenance is
agree.
important.
I agree.
Part of maintenance on the body is hydration. Are you drinking water? Are you resting? Are you sleeping at night? Getting into that deep REM sleep. Sleep is extremely important. I speak very heavily regarding sleep to my weight loss patients. Lack of sleep affects so many different things. And adequate intake, are you eating appropriately?
Mm, yeah. That's cool. Norma has a statement there. He said, "I'm losing
She
weight."
says, I was
Go ahead.
losing weight without trying and had hair thinning. My B12 was low. How can I decrease my B12 in order to lose weight? Wait, I'm lost here. I was losing weight without trying and had hair thinning. My B12 was low. How can I decrease my B12 levels in order to lose weight again?
Just
Oh,
kidding.
okay, I see, I see. I had my hair back and level. Okay, I see. I get the joke here.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Well, definitely don't see me then, because that's not going to work out. I don't have anything to decrease vitamin B12 levels. I only have stuff to increase vitamin B12 levels. So
So
I
B12
can't
was
help
the
you.
hero in that statement.
I can help you with that one.
Oh
To read
yeah,
that a couple of times, I was like, wait, what?
yeah. That's funny. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So
people like B12 because it can increase, energy for the reason. And if you're just laying around, so remember that a way of helping to lose weight has to do with burning calories. And so if you're just kind of like laying down and not doing anything, and all of a sudden you're getting B12, getting energy, and now moving around, that can increase burning calories and weight loss. But in the same token, if your symptom of vitamin B12 was weight loss and that's being replaced, then you're likely not going to be losing weight anymore and going to be gaining weight. And so that's what she
Órale.
was talking about. You know what the weight, you know what the weight gain could have been for you, Norma? All that hair that you got. Maybe all those 10 pounds that you gained was your hair.
Yeah, yeah, hair, man. It's like, send us a picture of your hair. She's got an afro going.
10 pounds worth of hair.
Yeah. Ay, 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 ay. So yeah, yeah. So, what else can you tell us about this topic?
So if vitamin B12 isn't treated, she has a response to that. Laugh out
Yeah.
loud. So if vitamin B12 isn't treated, what can happen to us? So there's some really devastating things. Peripheral neuropathy, which is extreme numbness and tingling to your extremities.
Hmm.
Paralysis, which is not being able to walk, which is what I saw in this particular patient,
Hmm.
the loss of ability to walk. Bowel and bladder incontinence, so the loss of function in pooping and peeing.
Hmm.
Erectile dysfunction. Generally, I kid a lot with people when I used to work clinic and just in general, but I would tell them, I can tell you, hey, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But if I start telling you that erectile dysfunction is going to happen, wow, men really start paying attention, be like, okay, I got to do my B12 if that part of my body is not going to work out. So I always get a kick of that. If I tell them, oh, your kidneys are going to go bad, your eyes are going to go bad, they're like,
Who cares?
I
Who
don't
cares?
need that. I
Yeah,
don't
we
need
got a
that. But I
spare.
was like, exactly. But I'm like, erectile dysfunction, that's not going to work. They're like, give me the B12, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Take two.
So see, there you
I'll take
go.
a six pack of B12.
There you go. There you go. Forget the eyes. I don't need the
Yeah,
eyes. I don't need the kidneys,
yeah,
but I need that. Depression is another thing. Again, mental health stuff,
yeah. Hmm.
paranoia and delusions. All this can affect mood and how people perceive things. Memory loss, another important
Yeah, yeah. Memory loss,
aspect.
a big one.
Remember this can affect nerves, our memory, and that's the whole reason of the peripheral neuropathy. The vision changes because we use a nerve to actually be able to see, and if that's being affected, then that can cause issues with our vision. But it can have
Mm.
some devastating things. Again, that's part of looking into stuff and seeking early treatment. Preventing is first. Hey, I feel great. I just want my annual labs. I want a physical exam, but I feel great.
Mm.
After that, it's like, hey, I don't know, but I've been feeling a little bit of numbness, or I've been feeling a little bit of that early on versus waiting until your hand is now blue. Well, I don't know what's going on, but my hand is now blue.
Wow.
Um, and so people tend to, for whatever reason, there's a denial factor in there. Like, no, it can't be me. Everything's fine. They wait to the last minute to get seen, or maybe I don't want to hear bad news kind of deal. But yeah, so these are some devastating things that could possibly happen with the issues. So if vitamin B12 is not treated, and again, these are some things that I've seen in the clinic.
Yeah, and let me not to get off the subject, or maybe I will get off the subject. I don't know, but people always have questions like, "What are the side effects?"
So vitamin B12 is a relatively safe vitamin. Again, this is something that's naturally occurring. The only thing I've seen really with vitamin B12 for some people who are sensitive, I've seen people with who complain of like a rapid heart rate, palpitations, or a little bit of nausea. And it pertains to, again, it's sometimes serves for people, it kicks in energy. And so when that
Hmm.
is boosted, then people are like, whoa, it's kind of like an energy drink without the caffeine.
Okay.
But that's most commonly what I've seen, those three things.
Mm,
But it's very short term. It's in and out of the body relatively quick.
literally. So there's pooping and all that. Wow. Well, great. Memory loss. I surely don't want to lose my memory, especially in my field. And of course, depression. Who
Yeah,
wants to be depressed? No one wants to be depressed. And it's like definitely, I want to make sure I'm walking around, moving around because hey, you know, uh,
yeah.
I don't
Remember
know.
we talked about in the last segment for this is Mental Health Awareness Month, that the leading cause of disability uh, for people aged 15 to 45 years old is depression. So
Yeah.
this is something that's extremely common. This is a very common diagnosis, and out of all the people that are diagnosed with depression, only 50% of those people receive treatment.
Hmm.
So,
Sad. Hmm. Sad. Yeah.
mhm.
Wow. What's the show us the next slide? There you
It is
go.
references, so it's nothing exciting. But we
Oh,
can put your pictures up.
hey, we can put pictures now. Let's see here. So, let's talk about each and every one of those points there. What's the first one? What-
So again, it's talking about, I'm going to start on the right, a cognitive decline. Again, it's talking about like memory loss. This is a big thing with the vitamin B12 deficiency. It's been linked with long-term low levels to just forgetfulness. Where did I park my car? It's not like, okay, something more advanced where you're confused and you have no idea where you're at. That's kind of a different situation. But this is more
Mhm.
like, where did I park my car? Where did I leave my keys? What was I going to say kind of deal. That's kind of how it starts. And so if you're noticing that you're kind of, uh, I was going to go to my car. It's like, damn, what was I going to get?
You go to
Or you're coming
Walmart
out of
and
the,
you forget why you went to Walmart, that kind of deal.
or where did I park my car?
That's
I've come out from the store and I see people with their remotes in the air, like
mhm.
honking, trying to
Yeah, yeah.
see where they park, honking the remote, trying to
Hmm.
figure out where the vehicle is.
I always park when I go to Walmart. I always park on the T, in the middle. I know I'm in the middle. Anywhere I could be in whatever city, any city in the United States, I'll park on the T.
Okay.
Hey,
I guess
it
that's
works.
that's a good routine.
Yeah, it works, man. 'Cause, I used
I
to I
saw I
used to
saw
be in a lot. I used to travel all over back in the day when I was a traveling photographer. I used to go into WalMarts, and so I would always park on on the T, in the middle towards the back, or if I got a parking
sure.
towards the front. But I was always there. The other parking space that I use is over by the garden section if it's early during the day because it's still open, and so you're always there. So, things like that. I don't know if that. I mean, hey, we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of
Yes,
habit. And so, you
yes.
know, it is said that you lose things when you do stuff out of the ordinary. You lose stuff when you do stuff out of the ordinary. You know.
Not everyone is a creature of habit though. Not everyone
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
But
that's true.
I mean,
Everything's different. To some of these people, everything's different, and so when they lose stuff, man, they have no idea how to track it. Like you can kind of go back, take your steps back, and you can find the stuff that you lost. But sometimes when you're not a creature of habit, man, you don't know where you've been in a sense. So
absolutely. Yep. Nope, I
this is
know. I
normal.
know. I'm a big creature of habit. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be in a big problem myself. So she says, "Do you sell vitamin B12 injections? Can you go to the patient's home to give the injections?" So the answer to both of those questions is yes. I do sell vitamin B12 injections, and I do go to the patient homes. So remember, I'm a mobile clinic. Let me put my flyer back up there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a mobile clinic. I do go to the patient homes. That's the whole purpose of my visit. That's the whole purpose of my clinic being
Yeah.
mobile. I never want any of my patients to have to do a full wall wait. I want them to have I always want to respect their time. If they want an injection, they can text me at my cell phone number, 956. 640-6963. Don't call because I won't answer. Text me, tell me what service you need, and I can provide a response. Or you can message me through Facebook under Sharon Moreno as well, under Messenger.
Yeah.
And just tell me, hey, I'm so and I'm interested in your B12. And then I'd send a response asking you again, some questions as to why are you interested in the vitamin B12? What symptoms are you having? Um, are they mild, moderate, or severe? And I'd send you a
Hmm.
list of symptoms and then get a response. Once they offer that, they send me the response, then I'd say, okay, based on what you've given me, this is what I recommend. These are the packages I have. And then once we agree on a package, then we would go to, okay, when are you available? When am I available? And then we'd go from there.
Wow.
So yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah. And Christina says, I love the fact that I don't have to wait. That
Yeah, there
exactly,
you go.
that's exactly what I'm about. I'm busy, and so I have been a patient in many doctor's offices, and I remember having an appointment at 8 o'clock and not getting out till like 2 or 3 o'clock. And so that's
Yeah.
kind of that wasn't necessarily good. I had to take a day off from work, and then I wasn't feeling well. And then remember, doctor's offices, hospitals, any places where there's a big gathering of ill people places you at a higher risk for being ill. And so,
Hmm.
if we can prevent being in a general population where there's other ill people, then we want to do that. So,
Yeah.
if it means you're in the comfort of your home and I go there, then we are not placing you in a susceptible place where there are other people with
Yeah.
coughing, upper respiratory infections, COVID, and all these other, illnesses that we possibly could get. So, we want to protect you from, there's so many vulnerable people, and,
And that's a big
it's
plus.
hard to protect.
That's a big plus on your service, I think. That's a big plus, especially
Absolutely.
the timing. The time, you're going to spend all day waiting in the doctor's office versus, maybe 20, maybe an hour. I'm sure you get everything done within an hour, sometimes maybe less, you know.
Yes, it depends. It depends on exactly what they want. It depends on the service I'm providing. So if I'm providing the injection, well, that's quick, easy to the point, I'm there. It depends on how many I'm providing. If I'm just doing one, it's probably 30 minutes. But sometimes I'm doing multiple family members. I
Hmm.
like to be up and personal with my patients. So
Hmm.
I want to know who they are, how the family members are doing, so that when I see them again, hey, how's your spouse? How's your mother? Whoever. I like to know,
Yeah, yeah.
people personally.
The personal
That's
touch.
important to me. um if I'm teaching people how to do injections, well, again, I have to teach on needle disposals,
Mm.
how to inject properly. So there's a lot of things that are entailed with providing a service. It's not just hit it and quit it and I'm out. There's
But
a lot.
it's a lot faster because it's you and the patient's not there wasting time waiting, and then maybe waiting in between to finish whatever needed to be done. You go in, and once you're there, hey, if it takes 2 hours, it's two hours, but you were still gonna wait the 2 hours over there, and plus a longer time because the wait until you finally got to your time, to your turn. So it's definitely a time. Uh, it saves you on the time, and it saves your day. It's like,
But
you know,
their 2 hours is different from my 2 hours. Their 2 hours, they're sitting in a lobby by themselves.
yeah,
My 2 hours, I am tending to them the entire 2 hours. I'm
yeah,
talking to them, I'm interacting with them. It's a patient interaction with them the entire 2 hours.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I just want to make that clear that office wait 2 hours and my 2 hours are completely different.
Yeah, and
We're not in the
before they
same.
start, they're waiting for their turn. So that's dead.
Plus a
You
drive and the
you're
whole
you're
works.
yeah, when you go to their house, their wait time is whatever, working on the computer, watching TV, doing the dishes, washing, doing something. Oh, Sharon's here. Okay, boop. So you didn't waste your day in a sense. You didn't
Yeah,
waste your day. You're just sitting there doing nothing, other than maybe reading a book
absolutely.
or doing the phone deal, whatever. but you're still being productive. And then Sharon gets here, and immediately you start, and then whatever needs to happen, however long it takes, uh, when it's done, well, Sharon takes off, and you continue your days of nothing because you also save the driving time. And so, you know, so it's
Absolutely.
definitely a plus. It's a
It
win-win.
is. It is. I have a few more questions. Norma says, can you provide prices? Is Biodecta the same as your B12 injections and do the shots hurt? So prices vary. It depends on what package you're getting. Again, it's based on, I ask questions. How many of the symptoms, what's leading you to do your B12? What symptoms are you having? What concerns are you having? How many of these symptoms do you have? Are they mild, moderate, severe, and how is it affecting your quality of life? Once I have that, I offer a package. So it can be as simple as, okay, I want one injection now, and that's it. It can be, I want to try, give me 2 or 3 injections, and I want to try that. It can be, you know what, put me on a schedule, and I want to try that. So depending on what you choose, it depends on the price. Now, as far as Biodecta is not the same thing as the vitamin B12 that I provide. So nothing from Mexico is ever the same as anything that I provide.
Hmm.
I never recommend any treatment from Mexico, period. I've seen some really horrible things. Biodecta, for one, is multiple B vitamins, and two, they are not prescription strength. Vitamin B12 that I provide is simply vitamin B12, and it is prescription strength.
Mm.
So they are not the same thing. So I don't recommend those. And do the shots hurt? With my super awesome hands, nothing hurts. And that is absolutely guaranteed.
That's a win-win.
Absolutely, yes.
That is so cool. Hey, Sharon.
So Rosie says, hello, Sharon, great provider, quick and responsive with treatments needed. Love that she respects our time and that she is committed to our well-being.
Yeah.
So again, the whole common denominator here is respecting people's time. People are busy. I'm
Hmm.
busy. And so it's about time, getting the patient seen, not have people having to wait around, follow-ups. There's just so many different perks, them having direct access to the provider that saw them. I mean, I can go on and on as to how great I am, but I'd rather everybody else tell me how great I am. I think that's way better than
There
me
you go.
actually saying how great I am, right?
Yeah. So make your
Hands
comments.
down.
How great is Sharon?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can do that too.
Eat it up. Oh yeah, yeah. So cool, man. Man, it's good. This show's flying, man. We're going right to. What else can you tell us about? Or,
So we can
or
go back to your pictures.
all right, cool.
Let's see.
You were in the first one. All
Yeah, there you
right.
go.
So the next one, I would guess, would be the low energy.
Yes,
Right.
that's correct.
So.
That's a big thing. So I want to say the majority of the people who reach out to me, the biggest thing that they complain about is low energy, and they're really seeking something for this thing. So low energy really affects quality of life. Um, when I see people and they've gotten the B12 and it works for them, because I follow up with my patients 24. I ask that they follow up with me 24 hours later, but if they don't follow up with me, I am following up with them.
Yeah.
Hey, how did you feel on this injection? And what I get is, oh my God, I felt so good. I cleaned my house or I cleaned my garage. And
They
well,
see a
if
difference.
you know, if you know me well, you know that I'm a huge jokester and I love to laugh. So I tell them, hey, well, I got some areas that I need cleaning. If I give you a B12 on the house, will you come clean my house? And so far, I haven't gotten anybody who said yes. So
Mm.
I suppose that could be an offer out there. I'll give you a B12 and you come clean my house.
There you go. There you go.
I
The
mean, they keep
B12
coming back
shot.
and getting
There,
B12s from me for their
B
house, but not for
B12
mine.
equals house, clean house.
Yes, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I had so much junk in the garage and I went to go clean my garage. Or, oh my God, I had so much dirty clothes. And I went and I got all my clothes done, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy that your dirty clothes got washed." And so then we kind of just joke about it, and then those patients feel so good that they say, "You know what? Put me on a schedule because I have
Yeah.
felt so good, and I just haven't felt like this in years." And that's again really important.
Wow. No, that's cool.
We have another comment. Norma says Sharon will always follow up by text 24 hours after she provides any type of her services. She genuinely cares, which again
Yeah.
is true. I do any service, not only B12, it could be antibiotics, it could be steroid joints, it could be a prescription that I provided for anything. I always ask my patients, I put the burden on them. I need for you to follow up with me in 24 hours to let me know how you're doing. But if they don't text me, then I will be like, hey, just checking in with you to see how you're feeling and making sure you're doing better. Again, I don't know very many doctor's offices that
I
check
was
in
about
with
to
their
say that. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't,
Dr. X, you go see Dr. X down the block, down Central or Boca Chica or whatever, and I guarantee you, you won't get a call from him. At
and
least
not in
I've
24
never
hours.
gotten a call from any doctor that I've been to. I don't know. Have
I got a
any of
call from
you?
a dentist. I got a call from a dentist. That's about it.
Uh, so Norma has another question there. Let's see. Or yeah.
For how long can a person take vitamin B12 shots? So again, this is a vitamin that our body does not produce, and whatever we don't use for the most part is excreted. So I
Mm.
keep people on a schedule. Again, it's based on the questionnaire that you get initially. How bad are your symptoms? Are they mild, moderate, or severe? And if these are people with moderate to severe, excuse me, symptoms, then I tend to keep the person on on the injection. I put them on a schedule. Now, some people be like, well, I feel good now. Let me stop. I guarantee you that if you stop the injections, you're going to revert back to how you were in the past. But again, there's no contract. So once you get on a schedule, it's not like, okay, you must continue to buy from me or you must continue to buy. People are at their own free will and they may stop, but they'll realize, no, I'm not feeling that great anymore. I got to come back for some more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you once you start feeling better, hey, you want to keep feeling better, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So great. And I think I got an offer. Somebody wants to come clean my house.
Oh man, girl, you're gonna be scrubbing on your hands and knees. There's a lot of cleaning you got to do.
Now's the time to do it, Christina. Chase that COVID away.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, but it's true. But it's true. I mean, I think people uh, kind of what I'm getting here is that they sense or they get a connection. They are in touch with you, and so it's not like a, Doctor X, but it's more like my friend the doctor, my friend nurse, my friend Sharon will take care of me. You know, uh, man, they have your cell phone. I mean,
They do.
whose doctor's number do you have on your cell phone? You know?
I agree. I agree. And I tell you, it's about feeling comfortable. People who give you, people have given me their deepest and darkest, secrets. And so that's really the issue. I mean, they have to feel comfortable. They text me, oh my God, I took an extra pill, or oh my God, my daughter has this rash, or, whatever it is that they have. And I don't charge my patients a fee unless I treat them. So they send me a
Mhm.
picture of a rash and they're like, oh, my daughter has this rash, you know, what do you think it is? So I've told them, oh, this is what I believe it to be. If I'm not offering a treatment, I'm not charging them for it.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of like a mechanic. Okay, I'm going to see your car. This is what I think it is. I'm going to tell you what the problem is. But if I'm not fixing your car, I'm not charging you for it. I
right,
can't
right.
tell you I know any doctors or anybody who owns four walls where you go see them, be like, yeah, come on in. I'll have a chat with you. Let me tell you what's wrong with you. And I'm not going to charge you for it. I mean,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
that's just,
Yeah, the
it's
little
just not.
once you go in their office, they're charging you for whatever, you know. including
Yeah.
that
Once you
bottle of
step
water
in,
they gave you for free. They even gave you a free bottle of water.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of the issue with that.
So, so moving along, the numbness. I mean, either in our feet or in our hands or in our joints. Uh, and how does that? I think that this is one of those cases that happens to a lot of people. How does it sneak in? I mean, because I'm sure I guess I get some of this sometimes, but it'll last maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, and then I won't feel it again till maybe another week or whatever. But is that how it starts?
Absolutely. It can start like that. Yes. And then it progressively stays longer and more frequent.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
something you want to watch.
and so at that point they need to seek you out and say, hey, hey, I need a shot, or what can you do for me? How can you help me out? Yeah.
So we have a question here.
Alma.
I was taking vitamin B12 injections, but my doctor told me I don't need them anymore. So my question is, can I continue the shots or just take over the counter when I feel drained? So this is the issue. The doctor is telling you, so there's a few things. Unfortunately, the vitamin B12 testing, one is really, it's hard for insurance to cover vitamin B12 period, and that's why it's usually cash pay the majority of the time. Very
Mm,
rarely, I think I've seen maybe once or twice on labs where vitamin B12 comes back actually low for a variety of reasons. One, if you're taking vitamin B12 supplementations, you should not have vitamin B12 levels checked because it's going to come back normal or high, period. So I hope your doctor knew you were taking vitamin B12. Otherwise, if you had just vitamin B12 levels done, it was either going to come back normal or high, period. It's just, it's off. You need two other levels if you're taking vitamin B12. It should be MMA or homocysteine levels. Um, so they need to know that up front. Two, um, the question is, when you take the injections, do you feel a boost in energy? If you do, I would likely continue to take them again, because perhaps when you had those labs done, they took B12 when you were taking them and you had false results. If you're going to take something orally, I never recommend pills. I would do sublingual, but it depends on if you get results. I tell people, if you feel well on it, then clearly it's working for you and you're having some benefit from it.
mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know your whole medical history. I'm just going based off from what I'm reading from your
The
particular
comment.
question. But there's a lot of factors that obviously I would need to have. But just reading from what you've gotten, it's super common that people go in and they're like, oh, oh, can you check my B12? Sure. And they just do B12 levels. And I always say, and the issue is it's because people are taking over the counter B12 and those are the incorrect labs that are being tested.
Wow. So let me take this a step further. Can you help Alma retest that, whether to see whether she needs it or not? Because I think that's part of the question too. Because sometimes, guys, you need a second opinion. All right, so you get a doctor's opinions from a doctor's office, and not to say that they were wrong, but
Yes.
maybe the thing is this: at a doctor's office, they won't ask you all the questions and you won't tell them everything, because maybe you don't know, maybe you don't remember, that kind of deal. Because now on Sharon's case, because she's a one-on-one with you, and it's in your home, you're not nervous, you're not, Sharon makes you feel comfortable, therefore you're more likely to answer the questions a lot more truthfully, and give the answers that are needed to give you a better result to the test. Am I right with that, Sharon? Does that make sense?
Yes, you are. So what I would recommend for you, Alma, is that you go back to the doctor when you have your follow-up and say, hey, there's two labs. If you were talking, oh, she has a follow-up here. She put, yes, my rheumatologist prescribed them for me because I feel drained and the shots help. Should I ask my doctor to test me again? So, yes. Now, what I would also say is that if they are helping you and you're having benefit, I would absolutely continue to do it
Hmm.
because you are having benefit from them. So they are helping you. I suspect that when the labs were done, only vitamin B12 levels were checked and the other MMA and homocysteine levels were not done. And so the whole picture wasn't looked at. But in my personal opinion, I would continue to do it. If you have benefit,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not going to
definitely.
generally cause any harm.
If it's
B12 is
working,
very safe.
keep doing it. If it's working, keep doing it. Right? That's
I
basically what we're
mean, if I'm feeling well and
saying.
there's
Why
not
not?
any harm to it, it's a vitamin. What you don't need, your body pees out. As
Yeah,
long as the kidneys function for the most part, uh, there's not necessarily an issue. There's some rare conditions that we need to look at, make sure that
yeah.
that there is, and it's not contraindicated per se, but we need to reduce the dose a little bit. But
Mhm.
what's important is if it's working for you and you haven't had any issues, then I would talk to your doctor and be like, hey, look, I think there was a mistake made. I've been feeling good on these injections and I would like to continue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think if and then again, I'm just gonna say, hey, if you want a second opinion, call Sharon up and set up an appointment, and you know, hey, the worst that can happen is you just wasted a day, maybe whatever, and but then for sure, you know. But again, if you feel comfortable where you're at, you feel comfortable with your doctor, hey, stay there because he's your doctor. He's taking care of you. And so, we're not
Absolutely.
trying to compete. We're not, or Sharon's not trying to compete
No.
with anybody. In fact, it's just giving you facts, things you need to know, and things like that that'll help you, you know, play your role as the owner of your health because sometimes we really don't feel like when it comes to our health, yeah, it's our health, but really the doctor's in charge.
Yes, to a certain extent, really the way it should be working, we should be the captain of our own ship as the
Yeah,
patient. But the doctor, or I don't want to say, I don't like to use the word doctor, but the medical provider
yeah, yeah.
should be guiding the patient in the
Mhm.
sense where they're providing education. Hey, look, these are your options. You have option A, B, and C. You, as the patient, what option would you like? Like, we should never be imposing our own personal biases, our own personal, recommendations, because everybody has their own views, beliefs, religions, rituals, whatever
Mhm.
it may be. And so we really should be respectful of people. Everybody has, there's cultures that are different, religion. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody is so
Yeah, yeah,
diverse.
so many
And
things.
so we really should just be offering, look, with this particular condition, this is what I've seen. There's option A with this, there's this, and that. With B, there's this, and that. And then let the patient have the autonomy to choose what path they go and then be supportive of that. Okay, well, since you're going with this, all right, this is what we should be expecting. This is the follow-up and just make them feel comfortable. If it doesn't work out, okay, well, that didn't work out. Okay, remember, we still have the other options. Would you like to try one of the other options, or do you want to continue to go down this road? It's always about follow up and always reevaluate. We always have to reevaluate the patient. Just because we offer something, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, uh, we offer things in good faith, but every human body is different. And then sometimes I may give particular instructions, and I may think I'm crystal clear, but the patient does not necessarily. Somehow the interpretation of the message was flawed, and things don't
Hmm.
necessarily go the way it should have been.
Wow.
So she places here, thank you, Sharon. My problem is that I have RA, rheumatoid arthritis, and I know that is a side effect. It's chronic fatigue, and that shots help. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, chronic fatigue, like this feeling tired. So this mono here with this like winding thing that's kind of like slumped over is a very big, like a true depiction of somebody who would have rheumatoid arthritis. This is one of those arthritises that have like joint pain and a lot of feeling tired. They have low immune systems. They can get sick um, easily. And so these are the kind of patients that we kind of don't want, being in the hospital. They don't need to be sitting in a doctor's offices for a long time, because then they're being exposed to the people who are sick and who could get sick easily. But yeah, if these vitamin B12, there's not a lot of treatments that can boost energy. And if this is one that is boosting energy, then yes, absolutely, we want to continue to do that, because energy equals quality of life and
Yeah.
vitality.
Wow. No, but that's cool. Uh, where else? I lost me here. Yeah. Then of course there's also depression.
Yes,
You know.
yes, yes, yes.
I
Yes,
mean.
mental health is another one of those things that's a big thing. Again, we have mood swings that are extreme anxiety as well as kind of associated into that. So there's just a variety of things, and this vitamin B12, again, a big symptom of depression is fatigue. You know, we go back to that low energy thing. Um, and so we can boost energy up a little bit, and again, that gives quality of life
Hmm.
and a perception of vitality. And that's really important. If people feel they have no purpose in life or no hope, then it makes it really difficult to kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel. And so we really need
Yeah.
to focus on giving that to people.
Wow.
And
That is.
vitamin B12 could be that light at the end of the tunnel for some people, for many people actually. So I treat a lot of people with vitamin B12. I do have a big clientele base.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I think Alma had another comment there at the end.
Oh yeah. Let me see. No, I don't see anything new.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was that one. You know.
No.
Okay. I thought it was.
That's okay. But thank you for looking at that, because I get to talking and then I forget about comments.
No, 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 no. That's cool. Well, great, man. I mean, God, man, it's almost close to that hour, and man, it's so insightful and full of information and stuff that
Sure.
heck I didn't know. And I know some of the viewers didn't know, and then some of us, of course, are going through the treatments that you're giving them, so they know what you're talking about, but they're experiencing the benefits, which is the good part because, hey, if you're getting work done, if you're, you want the benefits to be on a high, so, and that's what it's all
Absolutely.
about, the quality of life. Quality of life needs to be on an all-time high, and you'll the better the quality of life, the happier you'll be, the more things you'll get done, you won't be a burden to your family, that kind of deal, and you're gonna be a little bit happier. You're gonna have that step on as you walk. You know,
That
in
pep
your
in your
step.
step.
Yeah, there you go. And so
Yeah.
great, man. So cool. So guys, I guess another week. We'll be here back again next week. I don't know what you guys want to talk about next week. Drop some comments. If not, we'll come up with a topic. I don't know what it'll be yet, but I'm sure Sharon will have an awesome topic to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I have plenty. I'm not
but
worried
but
about
I'm
it. I
but
have
I'm learning.
plenty of
But I'm
ideas.
learning. I'm learning, and so hey, I know I'm gonna definitely call you up for that B12 treatment. Because
Perfect. I'm excited.
uh, hey.
I'm excited. Yeah, whatever you need. So yes, topics. If there's something that you guys are interested in, definitely post those. I'd love to hear. If not, don't worry, don't stress. I have plenty of topics. I'm full of medical topics.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Sharon, should we say goodbye? Give
Absolutely.
us give us some last words before we part.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight on this segment of Let's Talk Health, vitamin B12, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cool. Let's turn the music on.